I used to sit in jobs, in relationships, even in mental collapse, just convinced that someone would notice my angst and would come and help me, right? But all I ever did was end up feeling ignored and invisible. So here's the messed up part. I didn't even know I was doing it. And I am bringing this up because I wonder if you're doing it and you don't realize it either. In my career, I spent years of my life buried under work. I was convinced that someone would eventually notice, that my boss would think, oh my God, look at her. What a hard worker. Let's give her a promotion and a trophy. I did the same with my mental health. I'd be falling apart and I couldn't understand why nobody seemed to see it. I was essentially hoping that someone would care more about my mental health than I did, which sounds absolutely insane saying it out loud. People aren't emotional detectives, Sheila. This isn't television. We're not on CSI depression unit, right? One day I'm at the grocery store, wandering around, hoping that some employee would notice that I'm completely lost and can't find what I'm looking for. And suddenly it clicked for me. I was doing this everywhere in my life. I was waiting to be rescued instead of just asking where the frickin' peanut butter was. That's when it hit me. People don't frickin' notice what you don't say out loud. Now, it turns out silence isn't a valid communication strategy. Who knew? It seems so obvious now. And I wasn't just silent, I was masked, right? I was performing, smiling, acting like I had everything under control, and nobody could see that I was collapsing because I made sure that they couldn't. But yet, somehow, I just figured, you should just know. I was using my overwhelm to avoid the scary conversation of actually asking what I needed, right? The fantasy of being discovered basically let me stay comfortable in my misery while blaming everyone else for not saving me from it. It wasn't me playing the victim. It was fear. Fear of being a burden, fear of being bothersome. It was the fear of asking and the fear of having someone tell me no. Fear has this way of convincing you that silence is what you're supposed to do, like you're doing everyone a favor for not asking for help. If I stayed buried, then I could tell myself that the problem wasn't me, it was everyone else for not noticing. Basically, I was hiding, dressing it up as hope, right? But hope without action is just waiting. I am going to say something that's both sickening and liberating when my brain finally realized it, okay? No one's coming. No one's coming. The rescue squad isn't stuck in traffic. They simply don't exist. It's not that people don't care. It's that most of them are barely hanging on themselves, regardless of what we see. And what we see is filtered. We think that we're seeing people clearly, but we're not. We're seeing whatever version of themselves that they want to share. Same as me. We're all masking. I thought I was radiating this help me energy, but to everyone else, I just looked like I was functioning. I looked like I was just absolutely fine. They didn't see me, I didn't see them. We were all too busy just trying to look okay. Once I realized this, I felt like a complete dumbass, but it was also oddly comforting because I realized that I wasn't alone and I wasn't being ignored. I was just waiting for help that no one even knew that I needed. So help was available. I just had to stop expecting it to magically arrive without freaking asking for it. Once I asked for help, everything changed. It was actually kind of insulting. It was like the universe had just been sitting around waiting for me to ask for help. And then when I did, it was like, took you long enough, as it tossed some help my way. Help isn't a rescue mission. Help is a boost for people that are already trying to move forward, okay? You got to take that mask off, though, and let your needs show. The moment that you stop waiting and start walking, you're going to discover that you just needed reminding that you were capable of rescuing yourself all along. And if you're just sitting there, that's not hope. That's just plain old waiting, right? You're suffering strategically. That was hard to say. You are suffering strategically. You're just procrastinating with really big feelings. So if nobody's coming, then what's your next move?